What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Mike, and it's Thirsty Thursday, Throw It Back Thursday, Throat Punch Thursday. Still on strike at work Thursday, and I gotta get up at 5 a.m. Thursday. So, with that being said, thanks for coming out. I'll see you next week, same channel, same time. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. I hope we're all having a fantastic night, and if you do not see anything different this week, then please go and get your eyes checked, because the one, the only, the drum roll, Chuck Spencer is in the house because he's not working. And he's first. He's first in the chat. He beat Scott. Scott is not first this week for the first time in a long time. Scott got beat out. Now, I will admit, or I won't admit, that Chuck may or may have not had some help on when the show went live this afternoon to make sure that Scott was not first. But, you know, if you're not winning, you're cheating. So, hey, it is what it is. Scott McNeil with a close second. Gay in the house. Lourdes in the house. I'll try to stay awake. Lourdes, I know you are having a blast over there, and thanks for rubbing it in with that hand-pay picture you sent me early in the morning. I appreciate it. I wish you nothing but prosperity on that cruise ship. Win all the money that I have lost in 2024 back, please. You have about $19,000 to go with Carnival if you want to catch me up and make me even for the 2024 year. Gay is in the house all the way from Australia. Ocean to Ocean Travel, Bruce and Cindy. Hope you're having a fantastic night. Douglas Bray in the house, catching me on the live from Maple Ridge, BC. What is going on, Doug? I hope you and Heather are having a great night. Tim is in the house. Time to get cruising. Oh my God, look at that, y'all. Stop what you're doing. The one, the only, Tommy Casabona. Always Be Booked Cruise and Travel Podcast is in the house. What up, Tommy? I hope everything's going well, bro. I tried making a pit stop when I was coming back from the Horizon, but I had to get Cameron back to the airport too quick. So I'm going to have to come over to the East Coast, man, get me a sandwich. A sandwich. Martin is in the house. Hope you and Haley are having a great night. John V, what's going on, John? Hope you're having a fantastic night. And the Uber Cruisers all the way from Australia as well. If you're wondering what I'm doing over here, I'm just playing with my golden cock. It's become the new fidget. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. It's becoming the new fidget spinner over here on the desk, and I always have to be doing something with my hands. If not, the northerner comes out in me a little too much, and I'm talking with my hands a lot more. And nobody wants to see hands flying across the screen for a whole 60 minutes. At least I know I don't want to see hands flying across the screen for a whole 60 minutes. Tim's coming in from Ocala, Florida. And look at that. Look at that, man. It's great to see Tommy up in the live chat, man. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. I definitely got to get over to the East Coast, get to the chop shop, get me a sandwich. Tony B was talking about that cheesesteak, man, and being that Philly boy, I was like, I got to get me a good cheesesteak. It's hard to find a good cheesesteak down here in Florida. Diabetic in the house. What's going on? But yeah, it's right, man. It's Thursday. I'm still on strike at work, so I'm still getting up early in the morning, heading in, doing the whole picket thing. And we'll get into that because today was an eventful day. I didn't even tell Chuck this when I talked to him, but me and Chuck have pretty much put the nail in the coffin for October and made some arrangements. Scott was going to go with me, but Scott can't, so Chuck's going to be the one that goes with me in October. And, so we put the nail in the coffin with that. Made some final arrangements for that, made some adjustments, and today was an eventful day. I got to work nice and early, and we'll just say it, right? We'll just say it real easy. I had the cops called on me at work today. They called the police. They were like, "Hey, this guy is not letting us through. He's not letting me work. It was a bunch of crap." So the cops showed up. They came for 2 seconds and they left. It was crazy. Tony Jackson is in the house. What's going on, bro? Yo, Tony, I got to give you props, dude. That beard, that thing's looking mighty fine, dude. I might have to buy me a house in Vegas just so I can come and touch that beard. You're getting there, bro. You're getting there. Maybe one day when you grow up, you could be like me and get that big old bushy man beard. A few years ago, my beard was down here. I had to cut it off. I couldn't take it much longer. I was at that phase where I wanted a really long beard. I had the long beard for a while, and then I chopped it off, and it went away. But there's a lot of cruise news going on this week, and a few topics that I want to touch base on, and a few things I want to talk about. I'm not going to read Dababetic's comment and where he's on vacation in Japan, not on a cruise. But Japan is my number one destination. I absolutely wish I could be in Japan. And it's a little bittersweet because 12 days, when is it? It would have been like 12 days from now. Let's see. Because I know it's still on my shipmate. It would have been like 13 days from now. I would have been on my way to Australia to board a cruise ship and go to Japan and all of that. But that got canceled. We pulled the plug on that one later in the 2024 season. So I'm getting a little bitter that one is, coming up real soon and I'm not there. I'm headed to Japan for 3 weeks on Monday. Gay, listen, we have to talk. So we really have to talk because we'll touch base on it, but if you're heading to Japan for 3 weeks on Monday, I would absolutely love it if you sent me a bunch of stuff from Japan. I will send you the money. There's just a bunch of stuff in Japan that I currently want, and I don't want to buy it online. I literally want somebody that's in Japan to send it to me. So we'll end up talking. But before we get any further, the Facebook group for the Alaska Group Cruise is up and running, and I have not sent out invitations yet to have people come over to the Facebook group because there's really nothing posted in there. But I wanted to send an invitation to one person, and that person be the first person that gets invited to the Facebook group. So, Gay, if you would do me the honor and check your Facebook notifications, you are officially the first person invited into the Alaska State of Mind Group Cruise Facebook page. I want you to be the very first person to join the group. And after you join the group, I will gladly start sending invitations out to everyone else that is booked on the Alaska Group Cruise. And then we will start posting stuff in the group. I told you it was coming in April. It was coming very, very soon. The page is up and running. So you can look for it, but you're not going to be able to get in unless I accept you. So I want you to be the very first person in the Facebook page for the Alaska Group Cruise, and then we'll start inviting other people into the group. I didn't even invite the mods first. I want you to be the very first one. So I figured, why not, all the way from Australia, have you be the first person to join the page. So the invitation has officially been sent out to you. So whenever you got time, doesn't have to be right now, doesn't have to be in the next couple days. Whenever you got time to join the group, please feel free and join the Facebook group. So now that that's out of the way, let's get to talking to some epic cruise news that has happened over the last couple weeks, right? We have a big story that breaks from Celebrity Cruise Lines that Captain Kate is going away from Celebrity. She is making a change. She's changing the course of her path, and she's sailing a different direction. Well, news broke over the last 48 hours that Captain Kate has taken a job with Four Seasons. Now, for those of you who don't know, Four Seasons is a hotel resort line, right? So they're breaking ground into this premium upscale yacht style cruising, and Captain Kate is going to be the captain of the inaugural vessel, the Four Seasons 1. So this ship has capacity. Me and Chuck were looking at it yesterday, and if you do the math, the capacity is 200 guests. It's 190 guests for the whole ship. So the passenger to crew ratio is 1-to-1. So you're talking about a cruise ship where the passenger to cruise ratio is 1-to-1. Now, mind you, that doesn't necessarily mean that every person's going to have their own individual stateroom attendant or butler per se for their cabins. But that does mean that your service is going to be a lot more faster, a lot more on point. Now, with it being 190 people at 2 double occupancy, okay, so for the conversation's sake, let's say double occupancy, it's 190 guests on the vessel. And if they allow 4 guests per cabin, then you're looking at, 380 guests or 400 guests, not even 400 guests, 360 guests at double occupancy at 4 people per cabin, right? So quad occupancy, you're looking at less than 400 guests per cabin. And the crew is One the One. Now, I will be honest. I am so disappointed that I never got to sail with Captain Kate because she was one of the ones that I really wanted to sail with. Now that this is happening and Four Seasons Hotel and Resort is breaking ground in the nautical sense, or making waves, should I say, in the nautical sense that they're becoming a luxury yacht line, kind of like, I'm not going to say like Regent or... It's a luxury yacht brand. So you're talking 190 guests, 100 cabin ship. Every room is a suite. Everyone's going to have their own private veranda, balcony, whatever you want to call it. And she's going to be the inaugural captain. I kind of wish that I had the funds to be able to book that type of like cruise, because that cruise is going to go places that other cruise lines can't go. And me and Chuck were having a conversation about it yesterday. We're talking about ports that don't want to have more than 500 guests. You sit here and you look at, I don't want to say it's Boston, but up north when you do the Canada and New England cruises, like Bar Harbor, they wanted to put that order in where you couldn't have more than 500 or 1,000 passengers per day. This gives people the opportunity to go to a lot more places depending on where this sails from, right? So if it's sailing in the Mediterranean or if it's sailing in the Caribbean, there's a lot smaller islands and a lot more, not necessarily off the beaten path, but a lot more smaller islands and countries that you would be able to access because of the size of the vessel. A lot of these larger cruise ships like the Mardi Gras, the XL class, or the Sphere class, or even the Icon class with Royal Caribbean can't access ports of that size because the vessels are too large or the coral reef is too close. That's why when you go to Grand Cayman, you tender in because you can't get the cruise ships in because the coral reef system there, right? So this gives people the opportunity, if you have the funds to do so, to be able to get on a cruise ship that's going to take you to places that is beyond your wildest imaginations. And it's nothing but gratitude and love for Captain Kate. I absolutely hope she has an amazing time with this. And if you don't follow her already on Instagram, go over and follow her, because I'm pretty sure she's going to be posting a bunch of stuff over on Instagram when all this starts rolling out. So One the One is amazing. I hope I get assigned a head chef. Imagine being able to call him up for cookies any time of the day. Now, that would be awesome. I know Scott would probably call him up for German chocolate cake any time of the day. Mike, what's going on, Ron? I hope you're having a fantastic night. So make sure y'all smash that like button on your way in here, and we'll get into deep conversation about cruising. We got 16 watching with 7 likes. I can see how many of you liked, and I can see which one of you didn't like. So you might want to hit that like button. Chris says starting at 36,000. That's chump change, man. I make 36,000 in a day. You know how much, man? Listen, they're gonna have the Four Seasons 54 before I'm able to book a cabin at $36,000, and that's starting out. So that's got to be the basic of the basic. But you get what you pay for, right? Like I'd imagine that for $36,000 is going to be one of those epic voyages. It's just going to be one of those great. Man, it's just crazy to wrap your mind around it. My car costs $36,000, and I'm definitely going to have that for more than 7 days. It's just insane, but it's great for her. It's awesome that she gets to do something like that. She put in the time, man, and she absolutely deserves it. What was the other piece of cruise news I wanted to talk about? Oh, so with me going to the Mediterranean for the first time this year in 2024, I felt like I was part of this because I've never been to Greece, and Greece has had a record-breaking year with tourism. It's reached a record high in 2024 of 8 million passengers visiting 49 different destinations across the country. So Greece's tourism is blowing up through the roof, and Carnival has officially adjusted muster drill proceedings on certain sailings, modifying the muster drill, and then they have also decided to put solar panels in and do a more solar take with the renewable energy efforts in Roatan and Cozumel. So Carnival's making some headwaves in the news this week, and MSC's making some headwaves for some drug stuff, but it's kind of crazy. It happens. It is what it is. I would get 2 cabins at that price. Yeah, why not, Ian? Right? Like it's really cheap. It's really cheap. It's not bad. I have to be here for a bit before I like it. Well, you like it either way. That's just the rules. We text each other, so that's part of the obligation. You have to like every video. So catch up, boy. Catch up. Controversial cruising in the house. What's going on, Scott? I hope you're having a fantastic night. But it's crazy, right? So there's definitely some big cruise news that's breaking ground over the last week. And I really don't talk a lot about cruise news, but when I heard everything going on with Captain Kate, I absolutely had to bring it up because I know there's a bunch of you that have sailed with her and have had the opportunity to be a guest on one of her vessels. And that was a big goal with me when I set out with this and I started cruising on other cruise lines. I wanted to sail with Captain Kate, and it never happened. It just never happened. The stars never aligned, and I just never made it on one of her ships when she was captain of that vessel. But who knows? Who knows? Is MSC the ship where the guy had kilos on him? Yeah, so MSC is in the news because a Brazilian national man was charged with smuggling cocaine on board the Magnifica. So 48-year-old tried smuggling commercial quality cocaine on board the MSC ship. And it's brazen, right? Like you sit here and you think about things, man, and we watch a show on TV. They have it on the Discovery Channel. A lot of the times you can catch it on the cruise ships because they have certain channels on the cruise ships, and it's called How to Catch a Smuggler. So anytime I go through the airport or when we just got off this last cruise, me and Scott got popped by customs. And the first thing we both said to each other was like, it's literally like How to Catch a Smuggler. Because you go through the whole customs process. They ask you 1,000,001 questions and all of that. And I just don't understand how people can think with the way security is now that they could get away with something like that, especially on a cruise line. Howie Cruises in the house. What's going on, Brian and Julie? Hope y'all having a fantastic night. We booked Beyond for honeymoon for Kate. Psh. Well, you know what? Everybody can't be you, Martin. It was in Sydney. What an idiot. Yeah, the guy was definitely like, I don't know what made him think he could possibly get away with that much narcotics. It's absolutely insane. But so there's definitely some things in the news this week with cruise news, and there's definitely some things coming up with cruise news, but I got cruise news, and that cruise news is October has been figured out. I talked about it last week. I pulled the trigger. It's not booked. It's definitely happening, though. The Star Princess inaugural sailing out of Barcelona will feature the one, the only, the Naughty Cruiser and Chuck Spencer. We are going to board the Star Princess in Barcelona for 11 days around the Mediterranean. Going to go back to Rome. And, I made the flight changes today. I originally had my flight booked from Tampa to London to spend those few days in London and then London to Barcelona to board the Mardi Gras. But I tried to cancel that flight and get the flight credits to be able to book the flight from Tampa to Barcelona, and I couldn't do that. So I changed the dates on the flight. I'm still flying into London. I'm not staying very long. I'm getting on a plane the same day to go to Barcelona and then board the Star Princess in Barcelona. So we're going to hop on the inaugural sailing of the Star Princess out of Barcelona for 11 days out of the Med. I fly out on the 2nd, land on the 3rd, cruise on the 4th, get back to 15th, spend the night in Barcelona, and get back on the ship on the 16th to board the Mardi Gras, heading back to Port Canaveral after dry dock. So I think it's going to be an epic opportunity to be able to step foot on board the Star Princess before the Alaska group cruise. And I think it'll be an awesome way to bring the Star Princess to y'all before the group cruise, and you can check out the ship tour and all of that fun stuff. And while we're at it and we're talking about the Star Princess, and since Martin asked for it last week and I didn't do it, here it is. It's commercial time. go, Martin. That was just for you. I played the commercial for you because you missed it last week, and there it was. The more I play it, the more I think you're going to be convinced to book it. And I'm just going to start sending you a letter every month, a certified letter with return that is just going to say book the cruise, book the cruise, book the cruise. But I've started the process of reaching out since the Alaska season is right around the corner. And when I mean right around the corner, it's literally 30 days away. So the 2025 Alaska season is less than 30 days away. It's getting ready to start. I've been in contact with a couple group excursions in Alaska for wow watching and all of that. Now, I have to figure a few things out because the one that I have had some communication with is a small vessel group excursion, 6 to 8 people, and we have a lot more than that going. So I don't think that the 6 to 8 people group excursion for the wow watching is going to cut it for us. But it gives me an idea and a base price on what it's going to cost relatively, what it's going to cost for those type of excursions, right? Now, Juneau is a longer day for us, so that's a good thing. And I'm starting to figure out what the schedule is going to look like because in all reality, believe it or not, we're not that far away. We're less than a year away from final payment at this point. So we're closing in on 11 months away from final payment for the group cruise, and it'll be here before you know it. So it's definitely going to be an epic adventure, and it's been a fun process so far. So being able to do these things like reach out and talk to people about the group excursions and all of that and figure it all out. We're going to do 2 group excursions, one land and one sea, I guess you can call it. We're going to do the wow watching excursion, and then we're going to do the White Pass Summit all the way up into Canada and enjoy the train ride through nature and all of that fun stuff. So I've been in touch with both of those, getting those figured out and now down and all of that. But it's definitely going to be that thing. Like Doug said, the Alaska season has been in Vancouver, BC, and it was a Disney ship. So early Alaska has already started. It's not many ships. They haven't started, repositioning all of their ships yet. But when the Luminosa officially arrives in Alaska towards the end of April, it's really the big start of the Alaska season. What's going on, Med? All the way from late night comedy on the Conquest. I hope you have a great comedian on board. I love some late night comedy. It's one of my favorite things to do. Everyone's saying hello. Chuck said he's been called worse. He has been. He's been called a lot worse than Czech. He has been called a lot worse than Czech. Have you found a hotel in Seattle that was better rate than $900 a night? So I'll be honest. I think that $900 rate per night was that whole dilemma process that we had was that they were still so far out that their prices are $900. Believe it or not, that hotel still has it at $900 a night with it being so far out. So we have looked this season around the dates of when we would be there, and the rooms are relatively, I'm not going to say inexpensive, but they're very cost effective for what the Alaska season would be in Seattle, right? So to be right there by Pike Place Market in the downtown Seattle area, 5 minutes from the Pike Place Market, if that, 5 minutes to the Space Needle in Chihuly, we were looking at like $225 a night for a good hotel, literally right in downtown everything. So if prices next year are anything of like what they are this year or lower, then it's definitely going to be doable. Tommy's asking when the dance break is. Bro, I can dance whenever you want. It's probably not a sight you want to see. Tony does a way better job than I do. The Luminosa team is wonderful. Wish I could fit in another cruise soon. I wish. My next cruise isn't until May. And I've been telling guys on the picket line at work, I'm like, man, I'm just ready to hop on another ship. Like, I don't have to ask for time off right now. I could be flying over to Europe. I could be flying somewhere and just hop on a cruise and go. Warm, Strong Adventures in the house. What's going on, Bill? Hope you're having a fantastic night. So it's definitely the pineapple dance. Ron, you still have that footage, right? So when I had the pineapple hat on. Now, in the beginning, I used to do a lot of stuff with the pineapple. I really don't throw the pineapple out as much anymore because Carnival has banned the pineapple. And I don't think it's fair to the pineapples. I mean, you can have bananas and watermelons, but we got to ban the pineapple. I think it's against the fruit laws, but I really don't throw it out as much as I used to. I still use it in a lot of stuff, but I don't put it out there as much as I used to. Too many people have took from what it was with me and tried doing their own thing with it, and then they pretty much tried crowning themselves the Pineapple King. And it kind of just took away the purpose for me, because my whole purpose with the pineapple was to remove the stigma that was behind the pineapple with the cruising industry. And I felt like I was doing a pretty good job. I felt like I had a lot of people on board with the whole pineapple thing. And then there was a lot of people, man, they just took it and they ran with it in their own direction. And it just took away the purpose of what I was trying to do with it from behind. And it lost all its momentum with me. But I still have the pineapple hat. I still break it out every now and then. The fruit laws. Yeah, it's against the fruit laws. Time to venture out into the city. Great to see everyone. I hope you have a fantastic time in Japan. I'm not jealous at all. Shoot me a private message on Facebook or an email if you go to a ramen shop and you buy ramen out of a vending machine, and then I'll be jealous. Then I'll definitely be jealous, because lo and behold, ramen and hot pot are my two favorite foods. So if you go to a ramen shop, man, I'm jealous either way. It is what it is. I hope you have a blast, though. Enjoy the city. Enjoy Japan. Take it in, man, because we live every day. We only die once, but take it all in. Fruit discrimination. That's my whole point, right? Like, and the whole thing with the pineapple in the cruising community was the big stigma behind it was the upside down pineapple was a sign for swingers. And it is. It's not that it's not. I'm not trying to deface that at all. It's absolutely a symbol for the swingers. But a pineapple in Hawaii or a lot of other places is a form of hospitality. It's a welcoming thing. So my whole thing with the channel and the name played well into the upside down pineapple realm. The Naughty Cruiser. The Naughty Cruiser isn't because I'm a naughty guy. It's a play on words. It's nautical, right? So I took the word nautical, I chopped it, and I made it the Naughty Cruiser. And then I wanted to take away the stigma with the pineapple, because everyone's welcomed here. It doesn't matter, big, small, whatever. Everyone is welcome here at the Naughty Cruiser channel. Everyone's welcome at the Naughty Cruiser Facebook page. So I wanted to turn that stigma around with the pineapple and introduce it back as the welcoming sign. And too many people took it and started doing the whole upside down pineapple magnets on everyone's doors when they weren't paying attention or things like that. So I was just, it grew further into the opposite direction than what I wanted it to do. So I just started slowly but surely letting it go. I might bring it back. Who knows? Doug said, I still have the small pineapple that you gave me on the Vloggers group cruise. Yeah, and I gave everybody pineapples. I handed out pineapples with my little tag on top of them to everybody. Ooh, hot pot. Yeah, Ron, that's one of my favorites, man. Hot pot is definitely hot pot Korean barbecue. All that stuff, man. That's my thing. I tell people all the time, man, I was born wrong. I should have been Asian, because Asian and Mediterranean food, they're my top two foods. Top two foods are Asian and Mediterranean. I'm jealous. We're all jealous, right? Japan, like, what I would give to be in Japan right now. Yeah, Martin, still on strike. Going into the 4th week of the strike. This Thursday will be 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I can't get over that fruit discrimination. That's messed up. That's messed up. I actually love some nice fresh pineapple at breakfast time. I like pineapple in general. Like that's one of my favorite fruits. And the best pineapple is in the Azores, in Punta Delgada, the Azores. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care where you're from. If you ain't from Puente Delgada, Azores, you don't have the best pineapple. That is literally where the best pineapple comes from. They're literally grown in a glass greenhouse for over 2 years, and they're probably about 6 to 7 inches tall. And they pick them before all the sugars do what the sugars do and turn it into like a bigger, large, ripe pineapple. So they're really 6, 7 inches tall is the maximum height you'll get on these pineapples. They're absolutely juicy, the juiciest pineapples you'll ever eat, the most flavorful pineapple you'll ever eat. And they come from the Azores, Puente Delgada. And you have to get it. And if you're there getting pineapple, you might as well get yourself some chicken peri-peri. It's phenomenal. Chef's kiss. Scott says yes, yes, yes. Yep, Puente Delgada and Lourdes is there tomorrow. I'm not jealous. This is why I have to be on more cruises. I have to book more cruises. I have to go on more cruises. I could have been on the Spirit and brought that back, and I could be eating some of that pineapple I was just telling you about. I have to get back. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you always remember, right? Like when you go somewhere or you meet somebody new and they leave that impression, you have that thing that always sticks with you no matter what, right? And people ask me all the time, until I went to the Mediterranean this past was April. It's almost a year since I've been over there. It's crazy to think that. Like, it's crazy to see how fast that time has gone since I boarded the Sun Princess in the Med. But people always ask you, like, what your favorite cruise port was. And up until I went to the Med, I used to tell everyone my favorite cruise port was Puente Delgada, the Azores. And before that, it was Portugal. Like, there were just any stop in Portugal. And it was just one of those places where every view was breathtaking. The people were amazing. The hospitality was incredible. And the food was above everything. Isn't Larry Thomas on the Spirit at the moment? Yeah, so Larry Thomas is on it and Lourdes is on it. So they're all on the Spirit right now. Memories last forever and no one can take them away from you. Absolutely. And the good thing is I do this crazy thing where I walk around with a camera and talk to myself, and then I put it on this thing called YouTube, and I get to watch it 40 years from now. So I get to remember what it was like when I was there. So it's a memory that'll never go away. And I get to enjoy it with some great friends and all of that, and then I get to enjoy it when I reminisce and talk about it with you guys. So it's definitely one of those things that it makes you appreciate the value in what you do with everything. But it's just so beautiful over there. The Azores is just absolutely gorgeous. Now, I do know that I don't go back there this year. I don't think I go back there this year. The Mardi Gras, I don't think it goes there. Barcelona, Malaga, Cadiz, Santa Cruz, Tenerife. So I get to go back to Tenerife this year, which is nice. So I think I'm going to go to the volcano beaches, the black sand beaches, and the Celebration Key. You know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and add this so we can see where we're going with that one. I can't wait to get on that Star Princess, man. That's going to be awesome. Even though it's going to be pretty much identical to the Sun Princess, that ship is just an awesome ship. Star Princess. So we board in Barcelona. We're in Marseille province, France. Then at sea, Rome, Italy, Naples, Sicily at sea, Cartagena, Spain at sea, Gibraltar. So we'll be at the Rock of Gibraltar at sea, and then back to Barcelona. So I don't get to go to the Azores again this year. So it's crazy. So do your kids. Yeah, so that's one of the big things on why I started doing the whole thing, right? Like, I loved cruising. I always had a passion for it since I was a kid. It was something we did every other year. It was something we did with the family. We would go every other year. The kids would go, and then the opposite year when the kids would go, it would just be all the adults. And I grew up cruising. Like that was the family vacation. That was the big family vacation other than the Jersey Shore every year. So when you grow up with something and you enjoy it so much from such a young age, and you start doing it more, and then you take your kids and then you start making content with it and all of that, it's an awesome all around experience. And it's like that saying they say, you never work a day in your life if you do what you love, right? So as long as you're loving what you're doing, it's not work. And to me, I go to work miserable. I don't want to go to work. I want this to be my full-time job because I love doing all of this. I love going live. I love the editing process. I love the filming process. I love being able to go to new places and try new things, immerse myself in the culture, and I love being able to bring it to everybody through the lens of a camera. I think it's one of the most fascinating things ever. And I don't look at it like ruining something for somebody, right? Like going on the Star Princess in October, I don't think ruins the experience that I'm going to have with everyone that's booked on the Alaska group cruise in July, because it gives you a little bit of an insight on what the ship is going to look like, what to expect, and what you're going for in July. It's something more to look forward to, right? So you're getting to see the ship that you're getting ready to board a few short months later to sail around Alaska on. And I think it's just an all-around awesome experience. Amen. Love what we do. Right. And that's it. As long as you love what you do, it's always going to be a great feeling. It's never going to be, you're never going to feel like it's work. And I don't ever feel like when I sit down at a computer to edit the videos that it's work and it's draining, and I enjoy every second of it. I enjoy trying to figure out what song to put in with it and where to cut it and where to put it all. I think it's just one of the best things ever. When you vlog, do you use a camera or a phone? If it's a camera, which model do you use? So I use both, Ian. And lately I've been using the Osmo Pocket 3. I use that a lot more for everything, but I use my phone for a lot of quick little videos, right? Because I have the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and now they have this quick action button on the side of the phone. So I just push that button and it literally pulls up the camera right away. So if I need to capture something quickly, whether it's when I'm sailing back on a tender or something like that, and I don't want to flip the Pocket 3 on, I just pull out the phone real fast. And you can't really tell the difference, right? Because cameras and cell phones have come such a long way. And a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what do I need camera-wise to start out? I'm like, the cell phone in your pocket. Because believe it or not, I have hundreds of dollars poured into cameras that don't get used on a regular, I'm not going to say daily basis, but on a regular cruise basis, right? Like I have a GoPro that I don't use that often. I have a Insta360 that I don't use that often. I have a M50 that I don't use that often. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be my cell phone and the Pocket 3 that I use the most. Princess learned a lot with the Sun Princess, so I'm expecting Star to be a much better experience with all the venues opening and running. Yeah, so I don't think they're going to have the same issues that they experienced with the Sun Princess, but we'll see. You never know. Which is your favorite class of cruise ships? All lines are in play. So that's a tough one, right? Because I just started branching out to a lot more cruise lines. So for the cruise lines that I've been on so far, I would have to say the Oasis class would be my favorite class of ships. Only because Utopia, man, like Utopia just blew me away. It absolutely blew me away. Now, if we're talking like Princess, I would say they're, I don't want to say the Island class because that's a smaller style ship. So we'll go relatively new, right? So the Sphere class is awesome. I enjoy the Sphere class on Princess. I enjoy the Oasis class on Royal. And I'm not a big fan of the XL class with Carnival. I'm more of a Valor or Vista class, Spirit class guy with Carnival. I'd definitely much rather sail on a Spirit class ship with Carnival than an XL class. And it's not because of the size of the ship, it's because of the bottlenecks that you tend to deal with that, the layout of that ship. So like I tell everybody all the time, the Mardi Gras was the first one. They learned from their mistakes with that one and made some changes with the celebration. And then they learned some more mistakes with the celebration, and they made some changes with that with the Jubilee. I definitely think the next class that Carnival is going to come out with is going to be a better experience class than the XL class. But it's tough, right? Like I like all cruise ships. I don't think I've ever been on a cruise ship that I didn't really enjoy or didn't really like. I mean, even the first Margaritaville Paradise, the old Bahamas Paradise ship, I enjoyed that, and that was years ago when that first, started sailing as Margaritaville. So I don't think I've ever had a ship I don't like. Now, I've had bad experiences on ships. I had things go sideways on ships, but that's just like everything else, right? As long as you go into it with an open mind, then everything's pretty much the way you expect it to be in the end. But I definitely think Carnival's XL class is one of those ones where it's like, I don't really need it. Like, I'd be all right if I don't sail on them. And even though I'm hitting the trifecta again this year, I hit the trifecta December was the trifecta point for me last December when I boarded the Jubilee. But I don't need to hop on those ships as much as I want to hop on an Oasis class ship like Utopia or Wonder. Or even Icon class with the Star that I'm boarding in September. So I think I get more excited with those ships than anything because Royal, for some reason, man, Royal's got it figured out. And I've only been on 2 Royal cruises. I've also done Celebrity, which is in the same umbrella as Royal, right? Royal's got it figured out with the layout of their ship, man. You don't feel like you're bottlenecked. And even with those bigger class ships like Utopia or Icon, and I can only speak for Utopia because that's the only one I've been on, but I never felt like I was in an area where there was too many people. I never felt like I ran into a bottlenecked area where there was too much congestion or too many people at one point in time. Even in the Windjammer, I felt like everything was good. The only thing that I didn't like about it was the pool decks. And that's just because I'm not used to having that many pools on one deck, right? Like, it was just weird to me that it was broken up and spaced out in the middle, but it was still a great ship. I'm in the market for a new camera, and I'm leaning towards the Osmo Pocket 3. Good to know. Parody J just fried the Osmo Pocket 3 on their current cruise. He found out it isn't waterproof. Yeah, so it's not waterproof, and I'm currently having an issue with mine, and I'm waiting for DJI to resolve the issue. So the Pocket 3 is great because it's got the camera where you can go vertical to horizontal. And currently, mine is stuck in the vertical mode. I can't flip the screen to go horizontal. It's like the magnets came out, and the screen just automatically snaps right back into the vertical mode. It's not a bad thing. DJI has great customer service and great insurance with their stuff. So all I have to do is, I think it's put a deposit of like $250, send them my camera. They'll send me a brand new camera, and once this one goes, once they get this one back, they'll release that $250, and I'll have my brand new camera and my money back. So I definitely think it's well worth it. I love the mic system with it. The mic automatically connects. It's real simple, real quick, real easy. So I don't really have too many complaints with the DJI products. The drone I got's DJI, and that, again, it's another piece of equipment that doesn't really get used. Yeah, it's not dust proof either. And then you can get a cool little, case that comes in it, but Chuck bought me this thing from a guy in Australia. It's called Steve Makes Things. It's a 3D printed case that the whole camera just slides into, which is pretty awesome. But I don't have it in that at the moment. Yeah, so they're not even going to fix it, Ian. What they're going to do is they're just going to send me a brand new camera. I just have to get off of my lazy behind for them to send me a brand new camera. And like right now, I'm not even using those mics. I'm using the Hollyland mics. So these mics here, Tony introduced me to these on the Utopia. And when I heard the audio on them when he was like doing some videos, I was like, man, those things are great. So I snatched these up. And these are the mics that I've been using for the live show and all that over the last couple months. The Pocket 3 is great. It's a great little camera. drones are getting harder to use around the world these days. Yeah, it's getting harder to take them on certain cruise lines too. Like, you know, I'm a big believer in a lot of things. I just the cruise lines, I feel, are starting to put more and more restrictions on certain things that don't really need restrictions. But for some reason, they're still putting out those, you can't bring this, you can't bring that. I mean, listen, I don't know who told you, but I want to bring my Instapot or my hot pot and crock pot on a cruise ship. I should be able to bring it, right? I get that. No, you shouldn't be able to bring that. But if you have a drone, I don't see why bringing a drone is a big issue. And I get it. Like, every place got its own stipulations, but technology these days let you know you're in a no-fly zone. So your drone won't even work if you're in a no-fly zone. You can't even put it up in the air. But that's why they have cameras like the Insta360, Ian, where you can get yourself a 15-foot selfie stick, which I have, and you can just throw up your 360 in the air, and it'll give you the same, kind of the same, not 100% the same, but like 80% of the same footage of a drone. This turned into a cruise vlogger forum. It happens. It happens. Celebrity and Princess confiscated my extension cord for my last 2 cruises. You know what? Chuck has said the same thing. So Chuck had an issue with Carnival, and I'll show you what I take with me. Let me just slide over this way. You can't see me. I'll show you what I take with me on every single cruise, and I've never had a problem, right? This same product, you can find it in the link in the description in the Amazon store. But this is what I take with me on every single cruise. It's called Key Power. Now, this is not surge protected, so there's no surge protector in there. And it has 3 US ports, and it has 3 USB and a USB-C port. Now, the reason I take this is because I have a lot of camera equipment to charge, for one, but I also have my CPAP machine that I have to plug in, my cell phone charger, my watch charger. Everything's got to get plugged into something, right? This has been on every single cruise with me in the last, I'd say, 3 years. I've never had a problem getting it on board the ship. And the adapter that plugs into it that I use most of the time is a European outlet, because most of the cruise ships still have the old school European outlets. So the last cruise, we were on the Horizon, and the lamps unplugged. So I was able to set this up right on the floor, plug it into the outlet. My phone, Scotty's phone, everything was hooked up to this. I've never had a single problem with getting this on board the ship. I've put it in a backpack. I put it in the checked bag. I put it in the carry-on bag. I've never had an issue. Now, Chuck has traveled with a softball size plug outlet that they've confiscated. They confiscated an extension cord from Chuck before. I've never had an issue with this. I've gotten this on every single ship I've been on, whether it's been out of the States or out of Europe. I've never had an issue. And knock on wood that I don't have any issues, because this is literally the one of the biggest pieces of equipment that I take with me everywhere. And I absolutely love it. And it comes with all the adapters you need, right? So like UK, Europe, Australia, any adapter you need, it comes with the plug, and then all the adapters to be able to hit it up. Ugh. It's about that time, y'all. That was on a Norwegian cruise out of New Orleans where I had the issues. But didn't you have the issues out of Tampa too when we did the Boats and Bros on the Pride? I'm pretty sure they confiscated that stuff on the Pride too. Because I think that's when they confiscated my drone. So they took my drone and they took your extension cords or whatever. But either way, I've had this over 3 years and ain't had a single problem. And it's not surge protected, so I don't know. But that's the big thing. You got to make sure it's non-surge protected, because if it's surge protected, you're going to be screwed. The cruise line's going to take it every time. Hide your cords in your CPAP bag. That's what I do. So it really depends on the cord, right? Like, I've never had an issue with that. Chuck's had an issue with a cord that looks like a regular extension cord. So I've never had an issue. Royal Caribbean won't allow that no more. No multi-AC. I had to buy a multi-USB for them. When was the last time you were on there, Chris? I had my cords in my CPAP bag both times. Yeah, Ian, so they popped you either way. So, Martin, your trick don't work. We'll find out in September, because I board the Star, so I'm taking it with me in September. But I know I didn't have no issues on Utopia. I didn't have no issues on Reflection or anything like that last month. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll pack something separate. I can tell you what Carnival did, though. Carnival does not allow you anymore to put your CPAP in your suitcase. Now, I used to put my CPAP machine inside my suitcase, so I'd put it in its bag, and then I'd put it in my suitcase, and I would send it off with the porter. They made me take it out and carry it on. The porters did anyway. They took my fan. Yeah, man, listen, you're going to start taking people's fans, and there's going to be fights. Scotty will fight you for his fan. I didn't bring my fan on the last cruise because I knew Scotty was going to bring his. But that fan was on every night. And our cabin, when I tell you our cabin was like the Arctic, it was cold. Our cabin was freezing cold. And Scotty still turned that fan on every single night. Thanks for knocking my idea. I didn't knock your idea. I just said, well, Ian tried it and they got it. So your idea obviously didn't work. I forgot you get on the Icon class ship. Yeah, so I board the Star. It's ironic too, right? Like the way it goes, because I board the Star in September and then I'm boarding the Star Princess in October. I'm going to get fired from my job. I don't even know when I'm boarding I don't even know what the dates are for that Royal Caribbean cruise. September. I lied. It's September 7th. I know it's September 7th because that's the day after my daughter's birthday. No AC fans. Has to be USB. Yeah, so his fan's USB, so I think he'll be all right then. It's usually not an issue because customer service will give you one for the extension cords for a refundable fee. So they don't even charge us in the States anyway. I know Carnival doesn't because I've had to get an extension cord from Carnival a few times, and they never charge me anything. Yep, the 7th. Haley hates me for the fan. I have it on all the time at home and cabin. So I don't know. I have the ceiling fans usually going, but when I cruise with like Scott or Cameron, I don't bring it because I know them guys bring their fans. So I'd rather just be like, all right, well, I have empty space in my suitcase. And that's that. So Ian, I use Shipmate. That's how I keep track of all my cruises. Perfect Day at Sea, St. Thomas, Phillipsburg at sea, Port Canaveral. Now, I'm a little mad about that too because that was going to St. Kitts and they changed the itinerary. We're now going to St. Martin. Chris, I have to buy one of those. I sell Royal Caribbean April 24th. If you go to the description of the video, Chris, there's a little Amazon tab. That Amazon tab will literally take you to, better yet, let's do this. This Amazon tab is literally every single thing that I take with me on 99% of my cruises. So there's literally a whole list of cruise essentials, things that I travel with on every cruise, things that I make sure I do not leave the house without to make my trip as enjoyable as possible, right? And it's the stupidest stuff to some people, but I have airplane essentials that I use every time I fly over to Europe, or whether that be, Europe, Asia, Australia, whatever it may be, the camera equipment I use, the must-haves for travel, and cruise essentials. So you can check that out, and then you'll see like the fans that we use and all that stuff on there. Yeah, and Shipmate. Shipmate's the one that I use for every... It's the easiest, most basic app, and it's super, super simple. It keeps all the cruises there. It shows all your past cruises, all your upcoming cruises, and all of that. I'm still in shock that in 2 years, well, technically 3 years, that I've hit over 20 cruises with Carnival. That's insane. That is insane. And it's coming full circle, right? Because my second cruise ever was on board the Star Princess in 2006. Out of Fort Lauderdale. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out. We still got 13 holding strong in the house, 18 likes. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on this Thursday. I don't know what I'm going to do. Look at that. I say I appreciate y'all, and we have one drop off. Thanks for hanging out for the extra 2 minutes, whoever you were. Scott McNeil, probably. Probably Scott McNeil. I feel bad. I was supposed to call Kurt and Marcia today, and I didn't call them either. I'm going to have to call him first thing in the morning tomorrow after his live show. He called me the other day, but I didn't. I was busy down there at work, and I couldn't answer the phone. Time to get a nap. Yeah, Chuck's got work in the morning. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. We're going to call it a night. I'm going to sit here and play with my cock-a-doodle-doo for a couple minutes before I get off of everything. And again, I'll be here next week. It's the same bad channel, same bad place, same bad time. I appreciate y'all. Oh, wait, the Star Princess became the Pacific Encounter, which will now be the Carnival Encounter. So, look at that. I can get back on board the original Star Princess. Interesting fact, that ship caught fire shortly after my first cruise on that ship due to smoking in a balcony cabin. So that is the reason right there why cruise lines do not allow smoking in cabins anymore. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you all next week. And until then, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay naughty. Peace. Look at my God.